गुड मॉर्निंग एंड वेलकम टू गणेश शॉट. गणेश शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है. Today we're going to talk of Balochistan, which I consider as the weak heart of Pakistan. If tomorrow Pakistan has to have a heart failure or any event which you categorize as a heart failure, it will start in Balochistan. This is not something which is new. It's pretty old. In fact, once long back, someone had written CPC is the weak heart of, or rather, Balochistan is the weak heart of CPC. But I've adapted it to the weak heart of Pakistan. Why is Balochistan coming back into focus? We need to understand that. Because of this, we know President Trump is twisting Pakistan's tail to get bases in Pakistan, and the closest bases are in Balochistan. This has put focus back on Balochistan. Well, prima facie it sounds simple that look, America will have two bases in Pakistan and then it will go into Iran and this and that and all that. It's not so easy. First and foremost, the fact that these bases are being given to USA, right, by Pakistan, facilitates ultimately, indirectly, Israel against Iran, which is their neighbor, has its own problems. We have discussed it. But it's happening through Balochistan. And many people talk lightly about Balochistan without understanding what Balochistan and what are the forces in Balochistan acting at this point of time. What are the issues in Balochistan? And so we'll go over that today. It's going to be a little long, but I can assure you, if you've seen this completely, you will be in full grip of what's coming ahead. And what's coming ahead for Balochistan, what's coming ahead for Pakistan, what's coming ahead for China and USA. Let's go. First and foremost, right? This is, of course, the Balochistan part, and this is Pakistan, right? The way I've looked at it, and I've heard many people saying, Balochistan can survive without Pakistan. But the question is, can Pakistan survive without Balochistan? And this is a question which I've often asked people, and the answer is very clear. Right. When you want to talk of modern, I won't say the current day Balochistan, one thing you have to understand. There is no home in Balochistan which has not lost a member to the Pakistan Army Oblique State. Killing, whatever. Kidnapping, killing, murder, disappearance, enforced disappearances. This is not new. It's going on for quite some time. It's been probably going on from, ever. This has alienated the people of Balochistan completely from Pakistan. In fact, I heard someone speaking that when there's a dead body recovered in Balochistan, right, there's a line outside mortuaries, and all these are women. And why do they go to see? They want to see if it is one of their brothers or husbands or sons or fathers who have been killed or who have been missing. At least, is this the body I can, do the last rites? That's the state. That's a bad state for any country. That's a bad state for any state or any people. This state has not changed. In fact, it is getting worse. There is at this point of time a complete media ban on what's happening in Balochistan. It only comes through, second hand, a few people who have VPNs and things like that. The situation is not good. The enforced disappearances, murders, kidnapping by Pakistan army and its forces, which are rampant in Balochistan. Right. Now let's go ahead. If you go ahead, what is the concept of Balochistan? Balochistan is just not Pakistan here. Right. Let me make this a little bigger. Balochistan is just not this part, which is actually Balochistan, but it encompasses Afghanistan, where a lot of Baloch people are there, and this part, which is called Sistan Balochistan, which is in Iran. When you go back into history, Balochistan was never part of Pakistan. In fact, for that matter, Pakistan was never part of Pakistan. Didn't exist, right? Pakistan didn't exist at that point of time. And you see this. This is the map of Persia, Afghanistan, and Balochistan. Balochistan was a separate country. This is all around 2000, 1910, 1912, 20, that kind of maps. Balochistan became part of Pakistan only 47, 48. You see this again. There's again a map of Persia, Afghanistan, and Balochistan. Right. It always existed. Why I'm showing this to you is it always existed as a separate country through history. It is only in the post-colonial period that it has, Balochistan has become part of Pakistan. And Pakistan itself is an artificial state. We know that. That's something very new, I'm saying. So there is this incipient feeling amongst the people of Balochistan that they don't want to be part of Pakistan. And they've never wanted to be part of Pakistan ever since independence or 47. And there's no independence from 47. And of late, that has only become even more stark. Pakistan holds on to Balochistan just by sheer force and its armed forces. Okay. Now, when you look at current Balochistan, it looks something like this. These are the things. This Kalat. Kalat, in fact, was a separate kingdom. And the Khan of Kalat was, at the point of gunpoint, he was told to be part of Pakistan. But that's a different story. I'm not getting into it. But these are the things, right? These are the counties and districts of Pakistan. Now, Balochistan is a land of tribes. And this pie chart tells you which are the tribes, right? You'll hear Rind, Mari, Bukti, right? People, Kosa, Rais, all these, Ketran, Mangals, the words is there. So you have a tribal culture in Balochistan. The tribal culture is far different from the Punjabi culture in Punjab or the Sindh culture or the culture in Sindh. It's more, the tribal culture is more akin to the Pashtun culture, who are also tribal cultures. Their culture is also tribe, the Pathan tribes. Today, the districts of Balochistan are these. If you see, this is Quetta. Around Quetta and these districts which have connectivity with the rest of Pakistan, good connectivity, they are under the control of Pakistan reasonably. I wouldn't say fully, it's not full. Somewhat. Even here, trains don't run at night. Buses, no one plies at night. Right? The main Karachi to Quetta train, that's the Jafar Express which got, hijacked. We'll talk of it a little later. But when you come to the western part, it's completely out of Pakistan's control. And Pakistan Army and Pakistan state cannot control this area. That's the status at this point of time. Okay, let's see what happened. I'll be going back and forth into history and current so that you get an overview of what overall happening. Current, we need to understand that Pakistan has a 900-kilometer border with Iran. And this border has been closed since the Iran-Israel war has taken off. Now, there's been a lot historically, a lot of cross-border trade across Iran and Pakistan. Complete people of Balochistan use diesel and petrol, which comes in jerry cans and cans from across Iran. People call it smuggling. That's one way of looking at it. Others call it informal economy, right? Now that has stopped. As a result, people there, their livelihoods have been taken off. They feel oppressed. They are in pain. It just goes against Pakistan. And with what has happened, with the way Pakistan is now behaving against Iran, this will not start. So internally, Balochistan, the unrest will increase. And add to that the minerals, all that. Now, what is written here is not my this thing. Again, I pick it up from Dawn. 2 days back, article from Dawn. From there, I got the extracts. Okay. So as a result of all this, the kind of exploitation which is having in Balochistan and all that, the expectation amongst the Pakistani thinkers and writers and authors and opinion makers is that the insurgency is going to increase. So this is the fundamental. Okay, let's talk of exploitation of resources. This Chagai Hills area, this is also the place where Pakistan carried out its nuclear explosions. This Chagai Hills area is full of minerals. There are two main mines there, Sandak and Rikodik. Sandak, 50% with the Canadian company Barrack White and 50% with China. And very little comes to Pakistan, and even much more little comes to Balochistan. In fact, the Baloch people get only 2% of the entire proceeds of iron ore. All the copper minerals which are mined and taken out from there. Pakistan has just sold the mines. It takes money. The generals take money, and nothing is given to the people. People have nothing. Okay. Yeah. The new one is Rikodik, which I'll talk up a little later. So there's gold, copper at Rikodik and Sandak. There's gas at Sui. The complete gas deposits of Pakistan is at Sui. And people in Balochistan don't get gas. People in Islamabad get gas. That's the pity, right? It goes to Karachi, it goes to everywhere, but it isn't there. Of late, there are cases where these gas fields have been set alight, wasted, all that, right? And then, of course, there's ocean resources along the Gwadar coast. This is the Gwadar coast. There are ocean resources, Ormara, Pasni, Gwadar, all that. And then the geostrategic location of Gwadar itself, it's just next to the Strait of Hormuz. Okay. Having put that into thing, look, Balochistan is 44% of Pakistan, but only 7% of its population. Actually, that's the problem because it's sparsely populated. It's the most neglected and poverty ridden. Politically underrepresented, insignificant, because it's got only 20 seats out of the 266 seats in the Pakistan National Assembly. Doesn't have a political voice. There are enforced disappearances, exploitation of resources by China and Pakistan, and now Mr. Trump wants to exploit Rikodik. Okay. And today there's a fifth wave of insurgency going on. So it's not new. It's the fifth wave. There have been 4 waves earlier. Okay. Now the Baloch people are a group of tribes who speak the Baloch language. Right. I said 50% of total Baloch people live in the Baloch population in Pakistan live in Balochistan. 40% are in Sindh. Right? There are some smaller tribes and smaller number in Pakistani Punjab. And in the neighboring areas of Iran and Afghanistan, 2% of the population of Iran and Afghanistan are Balochistan. 2% of 90 million. Just think. 2% of 90 million is 9 million. Okay? They live in neighboring areas, right? You look at the social indicators. I just put it out, whether it's the poverty level, infant mortality, maternal mortality, malnutrition, water scarcity, in no banking, no roads, electricity consumption. You take all those. I've listed it out. I'll not go into it. They are all poor. The worst by any standards. This is where problems start because the social indicators in this mineral rich country are absolutely not there. Whereas the mineral wealth of this area is being siphoned away by Pakistan. Okay, that's it. Its resources have been perpetually looted by Pakistan and its extractive elites. Now, the thing is in this, it's just not Pakistan army, but the elites of Pakistan are also part of this story. Like I said, Balochistan was co-opted at gunpoint into the people, and its people have been perpetually discriminated. Today, it is even more. Let me go back into the whole story, how this fifth wave started. Around 2003, 2004, things were okay. Okay. But in 2005, there was a female doctor who was raped by a Pakistan army captain at the Sui gas plant. Okay. Parvez Musharraf went on national TV and said he's not guilty. At that time, Akbar Khan Bukti, right? Sui is next to Bukti, Dera Bukti. Okay. Nawab Khan Bukti was 80 years old at that time, around that. He was the former defense minister of Pakistan. He was Balochistan's former governor. He took up arms because they said, look, this can't happen. We know the story. He took up arms against Pakistan. This current wave is started there. The very next year, 2006, Bukti was assassinated. 80-year-old man assassinated by Pervez Musharraf. And then the whole story went awry. Today, the BLA and the BLF, I'll talk of it a little more. They're very sophisticated, the way they've gone about things. I'll touch upon it. Right. Now, there are three movements in Balochistan. We have to understand that. One is this Baloch Executive Committee. It was formed around 2018 by Marang Baloch. Marang Baloch is a woman activist. She's been nominated for the Nobel Prize. I mean, it'll be a travesty that Marang Baloch might get the Nobel Prize for peace. And, she's vying with Trump. Trump also wants Nobel Prize. It's something funny. Right now, for the past 3 months, she's been put in jail. She's been picked up in Quetta and she's in jail. And people are scared of her. They don't want, the Pakistan army doesn't want to let her out of jail. Okay. Then there's this Baloch Raji Ajoy Sangad, which is called BRAS. It is an alliance of pro-independence groups. They're all freedom fighters today. I call them freedom fighters. Baloch Liberation Army, BLF, Baloch Republican Guards, and Sindhu Desh Revolutionary Army. These four groups have got together and formed a. Now, these people were 3-4 years back. They were disparate groups carrying out chut-put attacks. But today, all their activities are very precise, very clear, sophisticated. The third movement, which is, and these are armed factions. The third movement which is happening is the Gwadar Ko Hak Do Tariq. It is being carried out around Gwadar. I'll come to that. And this is being run by a person called Maulana Hidayatur Rahman. This is basically based on Gwadar and what Gwadar and Chinese interaction and all that. We'll come to it. We'll go to it. Now, first, let's look at the minerals thing. There was a Pakistan Minerals Investment Forum of 2025 held few months back. Okay, and it was presided over by Asim Munir. And this is the CEO of Barrick Gold. And see what he says.
Reko Diq will be the beacon that leads Pakistan into the ranks of the top global mining jurisdictions. At the end of 2024, the feasibility study was completed, producing total contained, proven, and probable mineral reserves of 15 million tons of copper and 26 million ounces of gold. There's every reason to believe that Reko Diq will still be operating past the end of this century. First production is planned for 2028 and targets 240,000 tons per annum copper and 300,000 ounces per annum of gold during phase one.
So this is phase one. By 2028, 3 years hence, it's going to start. This is a Canadian firm. He's the CEO of that Canadian firm. Trump is aiming for this. Why do you think? Where's this, love coming from Pakistan? Is this, and this I'm sure, has been discussed in that lunch. And Trump would have said, "I will take your ores and I will take your bases." We'll talk further. There's an armed struggle which is going on, right? This is as per the Global Terrorism Index. Attacks by Baloch groups have increased significantly from they were just 116 in 2023, and they have gone up to 504 in 2024. Deaths in this area have surged fourfold to 388 from 88 in the previous year, just 2024. And this map tells you the spread of attacks. This is the area of around Quetta, which is, this of course is, TTP, FATA. This is the area of Balochistan. Though this map represents Pashtunistan or KPK and Balochistan, this is only of Balochistan. So the biggest increase in terrorism related or in violent incidents or the armed struggle or the freedom struggle is here. Now, what all actions has this Baloch Liberation Army done? The Jafar attack, Jafar Express hijack, Quetta railway station with attack in 24 November 9, Jinnah International Airport in which Chinese were killed, and the Chinese are worried about all this. Chinese engineers were attacked in Gwadar in 23. Karachi University attack in which a suicide bomber came in. These are major. There are so many. Even today they are going on. As of today, there are 2 or 3 cities in, like Surab and Manungochar, which are where Pakistan doesn't have control. They're virtually independent cities being run by BLA or whoever. And they're not very far, just about 200 kilometers away from Quetta. The countryside is controlled by the BLA and whoever. It's just completely lawless. Now, this lady is Marang Baloch. You hear her, right? And then you'll understand what the problem is.
वहां पर आपके इतने बड़े बड़े जो आप ये माइक्स और कैमरे उठा के लाते हो ना, वहां पे कोई नहीं आता है, ठीक है ना। बलूचिस्तान के दूर दराज इलाकों में जब आपके एफसी जो है ना औरतों को मारती है, जब आपके एफसी ने ओशाब में 2 बच्चों पर गोला बारूद फेंके ना, वो न्यूज आप लोगों ने कभी नहीं दी। आप लोगों में से किसी भी मीडिया चैनल को मैं चैलेंज करती हूँ कि वो आए बलूचिस्तान में। आप लोगों में से कौन है जो जिसने तुर्बत देखा है, जिसने ओशाब देखा है, जिसने आवारान देखा है? आवारान में एंट्री आपको नहीं मिलेगी, आवारान में आपको वीजा लगा के जाना पड़ेगा। ये है वो बलूचिस्तान जिसको आप लोगों ने देखा नहीं है, जिसको आप लोगों ने सिर्फ और सिर्फ व्हाट्सएप के कॉपी पेस्ट बयानिए से जाकर जो है ना मैच किया हुआ है। उस बलूचिस्तान को देखने की आप में जरूरत नहीं है। अगर आप देखेंगे तो मुझे यकीन है, अगर आपके अंदर इंसानियत है तो आपकी आंखें शर्म से डूब मरनी चाहिए। शर्म करे आप लोग, शर्म करे आप लोग कि आप लोगों ने एक कौम को 70 सालों से खून रेजी की है, 70 सालों से इसकी औरतों को नहीं बख्शा है, उसके मर्दों को नहीं बख्शा है। ये है वो आपकी रियासत की हकीकत। आप हमसे मजम्मत करवा कर अपने रियासती जबर को नहीं छुपा सकते। आप हमसे मजम्मत करवा कर सबसे पहले याया खान से जाकर मजम्मत करवाए, सबसे पहले अपने सबसे बड़े हीरो जो मुशर्रफ है ना, उससे जाकर मजम्मत करवाए कि उसने जो है ना एक 80 साल बुजुर्ग बुक्ति पर भी गोला बारूद मांगे, उसको भी मारा। ठीक है ना, जाए अपनी रियासत के मशीनरी से जो है ना मजम्मत करवाए कि उन्होंने बलोचों की नस्ल कुशी क्यों की, वो आज भी नस्ल कुशी क्यों कर रहे हैं। ये आपकी रियासत की हकीकत है।
So you heard her. I mean, I don't have to say. She's very clear in what all has happened. Right? Right. So that's one. That's the Baluch Ekjati Committee. Now, this clip which I'm going to show you is of Akhtar Mengal. Who's Akhtar Mengal? Akhtar Mengal is a politician, a frontline politician of Balochistan. He was also the chief minister of Balochistan. He's also held a ministerial portfolio in Pakistan. Till recently, till the Jafar Express attack, he was sitting on he was a cat on the wall. In fact, he was maybe pro-Pakistan. When that attack took place and then Marang Baluch was kidnapped, or rather arrested and put in jail, he switched. He's still somewhere in between. He's not asking for independence. He's asking for rights. Marang Baluch herself is not for independence, at least till 2 months back. We don't know what will happen when she comes out. But she wants rights. These people are asking for the rights within the constitutional framework. So is he. But this particular clip indicates to you there's a change of mind. Okay. Hear this. It will be a little faint, but hear it. Pay attention.
आप कह रहे हैं कि आप वैसे मजबूरी रियासत की जोग्राफिया को तस्लीम करते हैं और सुबह मजबूर हैं। किस बात का जबर है और किस जोग्राफिया पर एतराज है आपको?
देखिए, बदकिस्मती ये रही है कि हम उस तारीख को जुटलाना चाहते हैं जो हकाइक पर मबनी है। इससे कोई इनकार नहीं कर सकता कि बलूचिस्तान के लोगों को पाकिस्तान में जो शमूलियत की गई थी वो उनकी मर्जी से नहीं थी। आपके जो 2 ऐवान थे, आज कोई शायद उसको माने ना माने, लेकिन ये हकीकत है, हमें तारीख में नहीं पढ़ाया जाता। 2 ऐवान थे जो आपके, ऐवान बाला और ऐवान अजीज, जिसकी हम आज डेमोक्रेसी की बात करते हैं या डेमोक्रेटिक इंस्टीट्यूशन की बात करते हैं। हमारे यहाँ भी तो वो डेमोक्रेटिक इंस्टीट्यूशन थे। उसमें जब ये रेजोल्यूशन लाया गया तो उसको मानने से इनकार किया गया और वो रेजोल्यूशन को रिजेक्ट किया गया कि जी हम पाकिस्तान में शमूलियत शामिल नहीं होना चाहते। तो बजौर शमशीर क्या उसको शामिल नहीं किया गया? उस वक्त बलूचिस्तान को पाकिस्तान में खान ऑफ कल्लात को और उसके साथियों को गिरफ्तार करके पाबंद सलासल नहीं किया गया था। तो उस मजबूरी के तहत आपने गन पॉइंट पे उसको कहा जी साइन कर ले, तो उसने साइन कर लिया। ये एक हकायक है।
See very clearly, he is a centerline politician, a recognized frontline party politician of Pakistan. Now he's talking of, that Balochistan was cooperated at gunpoint. Okay, so that's important to understand all this. Right. Now we'll look at this man. Who is this man? He is Ataullah Mengal. Who is Ataullah Mengal? Ataullah Mengal is the father of Akhtar Mengal. And you see his interaction with, Nawaz Sharif. This was long back. He's no more. But you see what he conveys to Nawaz Sharif.
यहाँ कभी भी आपने देखा कि फौज ने अपने आप ये गुस्से में आकर लोगों को उठा लिया और फिर उसके मकसूदा लाशें फेंकी? कत्ल नहीं, एक भी वाक़या आप हमें नहीं बता सकते। क्यों? ये फौज पंजाबी के लिए बुरा मानती। मियाँ साहब मुझे माफ करें, पंजाबी के लिए ये बुरा मानती है। ये पंजाब की फौज है, ये पाकिस्तान की फौज नहीं, या फिर मैं पाकिस्तान का हिस्सा नहीं। मुझे पाकिस्तानी वो नहीं समझते। अगर नहीं समझते हैं, मुझे इस पे कोई एतराज नहीं है। उन्होंने खुद ये फैसला मेरे लिए किया है। इतना बता दूं कि इस सारे धंधे ने बलूचिस्तान को पॉइंट ऑफ नो रिटर्न तक पहुंचा दिया है।
So he is talking of long back. This is not new. That Balochistan had gone back to the point of no return. See the sentiment which is conveyed. This is to Nawaz Sharif when Nawaz Sharif was the prime minister. So there's an incipient problem from a long time, from the time of when Akbar Khan Bukti was assassinated to now. And this is now coming out. And it can't be rolled back. Right? Why it can't be rolled back? Mr. Field Marshal wants to be the hard state. We'll come to that. Right. Now we'll come to Gwadar. Gwadar is an interesting place. This is Gwadar. Gwadar was not part of Balochistan ever. It was not even part of Pakistan. It was not even part of Kalat. In 1797, Gwadar and this area was annexed by Oman of the Sultanate of Muscat and Oman. Until 1958, it was under the control of Oman. Oman owned it. In 1958, Gwadar became part of Pakistan. It was again forced by the Britishers. It was purchased from Oman at a price of 5.5 billion rupees, Pakistani rupees. So you have a case where this part, which is Kalat and all that, was at gunpoint taken over in 48, and Gwadar given to Pakistan in 58. Strictly speaking, Gwadar, Oman can say, look, this was done under duress, please give the land back. And I have interacted with a couple of Omani officers who have this feeling. Okay. And now America is coming back here and they need Oman. So let's see where it goes. And if they feel that Pakistan is going to go out of control, they might well give it back to Oman. And then, of course, the Chinese are also here. So it's going to be a heady cocktail going ahead. Now, this is Gwadar. Okay, this is Gwadar. This is the Gwadar port. This is supposed to be the residential area and all that. Gwadar is a thing which juts out into the sea. Right? This is the coast, it juts out into the sea. This fancy looking picture which I'm showing you is the ultimate plan of Gwadar. But it's not so. It's in a bad shape. We'll not talk of that, right? But why is Gwadar important? The Chinese interest here is two ocean access. One, the Indian Ocean, and other Pacific Ocean. China needs both to become a superpower. Gwadar gives China the second strike capability, and it has implications for Pakistan. And Gwadar wants to be, China wants to make Gwadar as its overseas theater command headquarters. Now you see things falling in place. That why USA wants to come here, and what is Trump doing? It's deeper than even Iran or Israel. Well, this is Iran. Trump is killing two stones with one bird, and he's not going to go away. You ask me, I'm very happy with this development. Okay, this is of course Gwadar, right? And this is Djibouti. So anyone Chinese want Djibouti, they have a base. If they have a base here, what will they do? They'll control everything. That today is being dismantled. What are we seeing? Chinese are nowhere in sight. After all, this is Iran. USA is here. Gwadar is inactive. Djibouti is inactive. Are they interfering in whatever Israel and this thing do? Finished. There's no force projection capability. We'll talk of that tomorrow. I'll talk of that tomorrow. How China's geopolitical decline is happening. Then something very funny, of course, like this is Gwadar. This is Gwadar port. This is the mainland. Here is the airport, Gwadar airport. Okay. It was inaugurated a few, about 6 months back. Not 6, about 9 months back. October 24, it was inaugurated. Who inaugurated? Shahbaz Sharif and Li Qiang. Li Qiang is the Prime Minister of China. Where did they inaugurate it from? Not from Gwadar, from Islamabad by remote. They didn't go there. Okay, there's one flight which operates in Gwadar. That's a beautiful thing. Everything there, yeah. All signposts, everything there is in Chinese. The first language of this airport is Chinese. And China has taken over operations. Now, we don't know how far these operations will go and all that, and how much Pakistan's arm twisting will be done. It's possible that the Americans might land up there, but we'll see how it goes. China has been also expressing, interest in Ormara, which is next door, and Pasni. And that is why US people are coming. So once US gets in here, they'll not let go, irrespective of what happens in Iran. Now, it suits Pakistan also because Pakistan doesn't want to cede control to China. Pakistan doesn't want to cede control to USA. It's playing both, but at the same time, it's going to get squeezed. So Pakistan is now getting squeezed between USA, China, and internal issues. And internal issues to Balochistan. What about the external issues external issues from Balochistan, but internal in Pakistan? That's a different story. Then this Gwadar ko hak do Tariq, right? Where people of Gwadar felt that there's, illegal trawling there by Chinese. Chinese come do illegal trawling here and take fish back. There's a lot of security checkpoints which have come up to guard Gwadar. The local fishermen can't do anything. All this. People employed in Gwadar, the Chinese harbor for everything, are from outside. No local gets employment. There's a land mafia going on. There have been protests in Turbat, Zamran, Ormara, Pasni, Pishkan. They're all along the coast. So Gwadar has its own set of problems. Okay. Now here comes the Chinese worry. This came out post-Op Sindoor. There's a strategy. This is from Bidu. All these headlines I'm showing to you from Bidu. The land is wide and the capital is rich to lead the national transportation, and the port of Gwadar is the lifeline of CPEC, China-Pakistan corridor. Gwadar is the flagship of China-Pakistan economic corridor, and China-Pakistan economic corridor is the flagship of BRI. And that's sinking. Okay. See what comes up in Bidu. What is the mystery behind the independence farce of Balochistan province in Pakistan? Why? During Op Sindoor, one group put up a Balochistan flag somewhere and they declared independence. So in other parts, this has not caught attention. But in China, articles are being written about it. And see, there's worry. This is also from Baidu, whatever, Baidu, jo bhi hai. There is a ceasefire with India in the front foot, that's the front door, and there will be a thunderstorm in Pakistan in the back. And China may have to take action. But with USA there, what action will it take? What action will Pakistan take? This is going to be a hotbed. That's why I'm explaining Balochistan to all of you, everything. Yeah. So these are the 4 movements. Okay. These are the 4 movements. Gwadar ko hak do tariq, that is related only to Gwadar. BYC, that is Marang Baluch's human rights group, which is only fighting for human rights so far. We don't know how it will change. Then the BLA, BLF who are fighting for freedom. And of course, the BNP and other political parties who are part of mainstream Pakistan politics. These are the four issues in Balochistan. And then there's the Pakistan army. Okay. Pakistan army is using maximum force in this area. Everyone wants minimum force to get to a political solution. Pakistan army is using maximum force. It's using maximum force against BYC and BLA. Right? In this, it is aided and abetted by China. China has been egging Pakistan army to sort this out militarily. And of course, there's mineral exploitation going on. The field marshal wants Pakistan to be a hard state. Hard state, maximum force, no political outreach. Any sensible guy in Pakistan says, do political outreach. This chap is doing exactly the opposite. The political security system, political security system has already reached the point of no return. It is in this that America has also come in and China is also flowering. Pakistan is a weak state, have no doubt. All communication lines in Balochistan are under threat. Pakistan, to control Balochistan or assist USA or protect China, has to commit forces which it doesn't have. This is a huge weak spot for Pakistan. BLA and TTP have some understanding as it is. Actually, it sets the step for the next stage. What is it? Is it independence or lawlessness? The Americans will not be able to control this area. They can't. Even if they come, they'll be more interested in protecting their bases. The Chinese are also not able to control. Pakistan army is also not controlling. Where is it going? Or Pakistan army has to put a lot of effort into this area to control this area. If they do that, then they're vulnerable elsewhere. And now that vulnerability with Iran also will go up. There are many layers which we don't understand. I mean, no, it's nice to talk. Yesterday I spoke, and yesterday and day before I spoke about no lunch for Munir. Ye wo lunch nahi, isko yahan pani bhi nahi milega. He won't get water also out here. That is why I say India is in a sweet spot at this point of time. Munir has spoken of hard state. What are the hard facts of that? Army has no interest in reaching out to people. About 8 months back, Pakistan carried out the 26th Amendment. What is this 26th Amendment? They formed a constitutional bench and it gave power to the government to control superior court appointments. That means the judiciary stands compromised. It was piloted by the army and the objectives were deep, so that Pakistan is now a dictatorship for all respects, except that chap is acting, he's speaking as the prime minister, but this follows the dictator. Now, this gives him the ability to deny constitutional rights to everyone, because then the constitutional court is under him. So Balochistan will be denied all constitutional rights. If Balochistan is denied as it is, or it's under denial, now he legally can deny it. There's a problem. Night travel has been banned on key highways for the past 5-6 months. Rail movement has also stopped. The state has no control. The night belongs to the freedom fighters in complete Balochistan. It is in this area that the Chinese are existing. It is in this area that the Americans want to go in. This chap is called Maulana Diesel or Maulana Fazlur Rahman. And this is the statement he made in the Pakistan National Assembly. Listen to it.
जनाब स्पीकर, मेरे इलाके में ऐसे ऐसे एरियाज हैं जिसको फौज ने भी खाली कर दिया है, पुलिस तो खाली कर चुकी थी। बता दूं आपको, ऐवान को बताना चाहता हूं, वो इलाके कि जो पुलिस तो खाली कर चुकी थी लेकिन फौज भी खाली कर चुकी है, और जहां पर जंग हो और पुलिस भी ना हो और फौज भी ना हो, तो वो एरिया किसके कब्जे में होगा और वहां किसका रेट होगा? और दिल पे हाथ रखकर मुझे कहना पड़ता है, इंतहाई दर्द दिल के साथ कहना पड़ता है कि इस वक्त बलूचिस्तान के 5 से 7 अजला इस पोजीशन में हैं कि अगर वो आजादी का ऐलान कर दें, अगले दिन अक़वाम मुत्तहिदा में उनकी दरखास्त को कबूल। कहां खड़े हैं हम लोग? मेरी गुफ्तगू को जज्बाती गुफ्तगू न समझा जाए।
This speech he made 2 months before Op Sindoor, where he says there are 5 to 6 districts in Balochistan where they can declare independence tomorrow. You already, I've said 2 cities in Balochistan are in that kind of a situation. वो खुद पूछ रहा है कहाँ खड़े हैं हम. I'll not go through the whole thing, right? And this is Khwaja Asif. Khwaja Asif, you've heard, he's the defense minister of Pakistan. We've heard, in all with Yalda Hakim and all these people, he gave interviews. He said, what is the authenticity of the fact that, Rafales have been shot down? He said it's in social media. This guy, you see here what he's speaking within Pakistan National Assembly. This is also a month before Op Sindoor.
मेरे भाई जनाब मेंगल साहब की तकरीर में सुन रहा था तो मुझे याद आया कि मशरकी पाकिस्तान के असेंबली के मेंबरान भी यही कहते थे जो आज मेरा भाई मेंगल अख्तर मेंगल। वक्त हाथ से निकल जाता है तो फिर हम किसी सकूत के जो है उसकी जस्टिफिकेशनें पेश करते रहते हैं। ये बात सही है, ये रिकोडेक हो गया, संदक हो गया, सुई हो गया, गवादर हो गया, ये हमारे बलोची भाइयों की मलकियत है। सबसे पहले उनका राइट ऑफ प्रीएम्पशन है उसके ऊपर, उनका शुफा बनता है उसके ऊपर, उसके बाद वफाक का और बाकी पाकिस्तान का बनता है। ये कैसा इंसाफ है? तेरा बुक्टी में गैस नहीं है और मेरे घर में गैस जो है सियालकोट में जल रही है, मैं गीजर इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूं उसी गैस के ऊपर। इस वक्त जो है लड़ाइयों का नहीं है, जो बाकी बचा कुचा पाकिस्तान जो है उसको मुत्तहिद रखें। इस मुल्क के वसाइल के ऊपर सबका हक है। अगर मरी के ऊपर बिल्कुल सही उन्होंने कहा कि मरी के ऊपर सारा पाकिस्तान बिल्कुल सही है कि मातम कर रहा है, वहां पे जो कुछ हुआ बिल्कुल सही है, करना भी चाहिए, लेकिन जो कुछ बलूचिस्तान में हो रहा है उसके ऊपर भी सारे वफाक को जो है मातम करना चाहिए।
Look at what he's saying. There's no gas in Sui, right? And there is gas in Sialkot in his house. That's the kind of exploitation. And this is being discussed in the Pakistan National Assembly by this man who's today the defense minister. This, of course, like I said, happened a month or 2 before Op Sindoor. So you can see the depth of problem. And Asim Munir is trading this problem with China and USA. And now you see what's the problem in Balochistan, the macro problem. Now, this is an interesting clip. You'll see what this fellow says. And this guy whom you're going to see is a member of their National Assembly. Look at what he says.
बशीर जब बहस से बोलो तो मैं कहूंगा मेरे भाई अभी मैं पता है डर के बारे में भाग के इधर से गया हूँ कल आज पूरा को मैंने फुलवारी इधर भाग के गया हूँ जहाज में वापस आया और वो भी अपने जिला गज देखो हमेशा बशीर देव का होता है हमारे एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी का नहीं होता एफसी की होती है नेवी की इतनी कैपेसिटी नहीं है पुलिस की भी इतनी कैपेसिटी नहीं है जिला गश्त हमें ये होता बचपन में सुनते थे बस एसी साहब कहाँ गए जिला गश्त हमेशा बशीर देव के साथ होता है उससे दरख्वास्त है हम बलोच है मैं जब भी अगर मैंने हत्या छोड़ो मेहरबानी करके अपने तो अपने कमांडर भेज दे कि बलोचों की इज्जत जाने तो जाकर लेडी कुदुसी का सजा दी कि सरफराज साहब की काबीना में और पार्लिमानी सियासत कर बशीर देव हमें मारते हैं हम पार्लिमानी सियासत करते हैं किसी बोलते बंदूक नहीं चाहिए हम आपके हाथ बंदूक नहीं उठाएंगे हमें गुंजाइश नहीं बंदूक आप बंदूक उठवा भी नहीं सकते जबरदस्ती सरकार हमें बोलते है बशीर देव के साथ में वो तो मैंने कहा कि जीआईटी मेरे खिलाफ बना दो उसका टाइमिंग तो हो जाएगा लेकिन आजकल गवर्नमेंट बशीर देव साहब की है डॉक्टर अल्लाह नजर साहब की है हमें उससे दरख्वास्त कभी हम उसके साथ धाते चढ़े तो मुझे झूठी गोली मार दीजिएगा जैसे मुझे आइडेंटिफाई जफरुल्लाह देवी मुझे गोली मारे इससे बेहतर है कि मैं रजिस्ट करूं मैं अपने बच्चे को बलोच को गोली मारो उधर से वो मुझे मारे सबसे पहले मुझे गोली मार दीजिए मेरे बंदूक में सर कितने फीसद इलाके जो है वो इस वक्त हुकूमत की कंट्रोल आपके सामने भाई अब रात को चलो ना किसी वजीर को बोलो घूमे मैं खुद घूम नहीं सकता जहाज में आओ मेरे भाई से कितने फीसद को क्या फीसद ये मगरब पे हमला करते हैं फिर मशरक पे हमला करते हैं शुमाल पे करते हैं फिर जुनूब पे करते हैं इतनी बड़े बलूचिस्तान में फीसद देखिए ना आधा पाकिस्तान में
So he is very clearly said, you can't operate at night there. There's no control. There's no writ of Pakistan state doesn't run in large parts of Balochistan. And he's a member of the National Assembly from Balochistan. He was one of those guys whose Form 47 was manipulated and made to win. That's the state. And that's the state. I'm coming back to this slide where Asim Munir is given, Samungli and Pasni is giving to Trump. It's a huge weakness. In India stands at a point where we can do what we want. Right? So those of you who think that, look, Asim Munir is going to get great thing, forget it. There's going to be a fight. This is going to be a huge battlefield. Balochistan will be a huge battlefield between China, USA, and Pakistan. And of course, these freedom fighters and human rights activists, all this. And if Iran goes, whichever way it goes, there's going to be instability. There's going to be a problem here. And if Iran closes its border, and the people in this border area, their informal trade is gone, then they don't have anything else to do. They have no economy. They have no means of livelihood. And then what will happen? More insurgency, more problems. This is on the horizon. We should be very clear as to how to handle this whole thing. Again, you understand from this clip, which I showed 2 days back, after hearing all what I've said, I'll get back to this clip and what a Pakistani talks of this problem which is happening in Iran.
अदील मलिक साहब, ये जो लड़ाई है ईरान की और इसराइल की लड़ाई है, इसके आपको पाकिस्तान की मुआशरत और सियासत पे क्या असरात नजर आ रहे हैं?
देखिए, बहुत गहरे असरात होंगे क्योंकि पाकिस्तान को मशरिक वस्ता के साथ जो चीज लिंक करती है वो ईरान बहुत बड़ा लिंक है और ईरान एक फसील के तौर पे था हमारे और मशरिक वस्ता के दरमियान। अगर ईरान में हुकूमत जाती है और एक नई पॉलिटिकल रियलिटी आती है तो तल अवीव से लेके बलूचिस्तान तक एक ही पावर होगी जो रूल करेगी और वो आपके दरवाजे पे आ जाएगी। फिर हिंदुस्तान का जो ईरान के साथ ताल्लुक था उसमें फिर भी ईरान एक अभी जो हुकूमत है वो एक तवाज़ुन रखती है, यानी ईरान के साथ एंगेज करती है क्योंकि वो ग्लोबल साउथ का मुल्क है, लेकिन पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ एक हद से ज्यादा नहीं। अब अगर ये हुकूमत चली जाती है तो आपके एक तरफ हिंदुत्वा होगा और दूसरी तरफ ज़ायनिस्ट इन्फ्लुएंस होगा। और तीसरी बड़ी चीज जो हमें सोचने की है वो ये कि जब इराक पे हमला हुआ तो जो तरीका है, जो पैटर्न है इजराइल का, वो ये है कि वो इंटरनल बॉर्डर्स तब्दील कर देते हैं, यानी बैरूनी आपके सरहदें नहीं बदलती, लेकिन अंदरूनी सरहदें बदल जाती हैं। जिस तरह लिबिया है, लिबिया में 2-3 हिस्सों में डिवाइड हो चुका है। इराक में कुर्दिस्तान बनाया गया और कुर्दिस्तान की जो हुकूमत है वो अमली तौर पे उस पर इजरायली और खास तरह का वही जियो पोलिटिकल इन्फ्लुएंस है, उनको ऑटोनॉमी है। तो हमारे लिए जो बड़ा एक चैलेंज होगा वो ये कि क्या ये तो नहीं कि बलूचिस्तान, ग्रेटर बलूचिस्तान की तरफ जाते हैं, और जिस तरह कुर्दिस्तान में एक हुकूमत बनाई गई और स्टेट विद इन ए स्टेट, उस तरह से हमारे बॉर्डर
नहीं, लेकिन अदील मलिक साहब, जो ग्रेटर बलूचिस्तान का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, उसका जो मैप है, उसमें सिर्फ पाकिस्तानी बलूचिस्तान तो नहीं है ना, उसमें तो ईरान का बलूचिस्तान भी है और उसमें अफगानिस्तान के कुछ हिस्से भी शामिल हैं। तो 3 मुल्कों को तोड़ के एक ग्रेटर बलूचिस्तान बनता है।
तो एक बिल्कुल ये बनता है। और इसमें देखिए जो बड़ी चीज हमें समझनी चाहिए कि जो जियो पोलिटिकल चेस बोर्ड है उसमें एक यूरेशिया ब्लॉक है और एक मिडिल ईस्ट है। तो अगर यहाँ पे रियलिटी तब्दील होती है तो जो यूरेशिया है और मिडिल ईस्ट है उसके दरमियान खत्म हो जाएगा फासला। और उसमें हमें ये समझना चाहिए कि जो चीन है वो, जब हमने अफगानिस्तान में अमेरिका की मदद की तो उस वक्त चीन साइड पे बैठा था, ऑब्जर्व कर रहा था, रिलक्टेंटली एंगेज कर रहा था। लेकिन अब अगर यहाँ पे सूरत हाल बिगड़ती है तो चीन का डायरेक्ट स्टेक होगा, क्योंकि ये पूरी यूरेशियन पॉलिटिक्स को शेप करेगी।
ठीक है,
इस लिहाज से मेरे ख्याल में हमारे लिए, हमारे डिसीजन मेकर्स के लिए बहुत जरूरी है कि पाकिस्तान की इस वक्त जो सबसे कमजोर कड़ी है, जिसको हम वीकेस्ट लिंक कहते हैं, वो बलूचिस्तान है। इसलिए हमें बलूचिस्तान में लोगों को नुमाइंदगी, हकीकी नुमाइंदगी देनी चाहिए, पॉलिटिकल डायलॉग शुरू करना चाहिए और अपने हाउस को फौरी तौर पे इन ऑर्डर करें, क्योंकि हमें इस वक्त जो चेंजेस हैं वो दस्तक दे रही हैं हमारे दरवाजे।
So they themselves are saying Balochistan is the weakest link of Pakistan. All I'm saying is today it's the weak heart of Pakistan, right? So that's it. So you see, I thought I'll put this all across to you because we talk very loosely of Balochistan and things like that without understanding what Balochistan, comprises of and what are the issues in this. Now, when we discuss tomorrow Pakistan, Iran, USA, China, Afghanistan, you get a better idea as to what this problem is. 44% of Pakistan is at stake. The fight is going to be here. The issues are going to be here, right? So we'll see how it goes, right? Thanks a lot for those of you who joined in. If you like this video, please press the like button and also subscribe to Ghana Short. I'll be grateful to you, right? Okay, let me take some questions. Sir, your view on groundwater recharge in central India? We have to do this. Let me be very frank with you. We have resources. It's not a matter of we don't have resources. We have adequate resources in central India. In fact, the Deccan plateau is we can trap the Deccan plateau. You can trap Narmada water, which we have done well, but Tapti, Kaveri, Ganga, not Kaveri, sorry, Godavari, Krishna, Tapti, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Vaigai, all these, you can do a lot. There's water. I mean, those of you who don't know, let me explain to you. In the Ganga basin, in summer, water reduces in Ganga because water, there are a lot of dams upstream. So what remnant water in Ganga is very little. Past Sangam, or not past Sangam, past Oraon, I think, which is somewhere near short of Kanpur. Oraon is the place where ये जो आपका Chambal meets Ganga, right? Chambal meets Yamuna. Yeah, Chambal meets Yamuna there at Oraon. The maximum inflow of water past Oraon is of Chambal, that's Deccan Plateau. In summers, the water from Chambal goes in, and then it feeds into Yamuna has more water than Ganga at Allahabad. So Deccan Plateau is a water trap. Only thing is we need to utilize it better. Okay, that I'll leave it to another day, and we'll write. Yeah, let me take a few questions. Yeah, Yogesh, thanks a lot. Please click the like button, subscribe to YouTube to Gunner Shot, please. Right. Okay. Rohan, good morning. HT says, I don't understand why the US doesn't focus on Indo-Pacific and China and let the Israel-Iran crisis play out. Why are they allowing themselves to get sucked in and getting distracted? Well, that's your view. The other view is in this whole story, which we'll talk of tomorrow morning. That will be my topic. How China has taken a geopolitical beating. China is now stuck badly. We'll talk of it tomorrow. Yeah, morning. How are you, Rohan? Right. Vishwanathan, morning. Vijay Pula. Sir, in this fast changing geopolitics, is independent Balochistan possible? Your take on Kurdistan? Independent Balochistan might not be possible. But what that fellow said in the end, if you heard, he's talking of a state within a state. All these, whether it's Syria or Iraq, they're fractured. In those fractured new countries, there are enclaves, Kurdist enclave, the Shia enclave, Alawite Shias enclave. The Sunnis, HTS has an enclave. I'm talking of Syria. And the Orthodox people have enclave. Then the Bedouins have an enclave. These are all states within states. So don't be surprised if Balochistan becomes a state within a state. That will be the worst thing for Pakistan. Because that will have connection across into Iran and new dynamics will come up. And that's something which we have to understand. Yeah, Hans, morning. Yeah, we'll talk of those related to Balochistan. Yeah, I've answered this question. This is not going to happen, Srinivas. They'll not be allowed to be peaceful. There's no way. Right. Yeah, people like Hussein Haqqani, Asya Sadia also say that Trump assured that IWT will be restored. Trump can assure. How does it affect us? We're not going to do it. Okay. At what point in future India will have the capability to directly intervene in Balochistan? I don't think we should. We should do it indirectly. There's a strategy of indirect approach. Why should you do anything direct when you can accomplish it indirectly? Saw a story line where Godar Airport and surrounding areas, Baluch people are not hired. Yeah, I told you this. I've told you this. That is why there are Punjabis who come into remote parts of Baluch areas are being killed. This is the blowback. How will USA react to India's moral support to Balochistan? Nothing. They can do nothing. They can do nothing. They have to live with it. Right? They can do nothing. Why so less population? No water. Basically, there's no water in that area. Yeah. Dushyant thinks we will have resumption and kinetic action against Pakistan in 6 to 8 months. If US occupies some Pak airbases soon, what limits does it put on us when it comes to engaging Pakistan? It puts no limits. That is one of the things which our Prime Minister has conveyed to Trump. Any act of terror by Pakistan will be an act of war. We'll respond. He said it. Now it's up to the political or political class to go through with it once, right? And to that extent, USA will put pressure on Pakistan not to do anything funny. So it's possible that what General Dushyant Singh said might not come. But let's see. Everything is fluid in this at this point of time. That's the thing. Remember, we are going into a huge area of zone of fluidity. Maybe Trump can split the Nobel Prize with Marang Baloch and help get Baloch independence. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, a Baluch Executive Committee is doing a tremendous job documenting the HR abuses, and the Pak state has no model to deal with civil dissent for all of them. I agree with you. There's no this thing, right? Yeah, Vivek Berry, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hanuman. Okay. What are we doing to help Balochistan? Now may be the best time to actively help Baloch people. If we are doing nothing, why? Well, you ask any Pakistani, he'll say India is all over the place. So don't worry. I think we are giving them moral support. Is Pakistan US deal on Iran a short term arrangement, or has Pakistan ditched China and changed camp? If it's later, then it is a long term. Yes, there is. Pakistan doesn't want to be with China anymore. Look, it suits Pakistan not to be with China, because then it doesn't have to depend on China. It doesn't have to repay China. And China is now hostess to Pakistan. You see, you have to think like a Pakistani general. If I were a Pakistan, this is what I'll do. And that's exactly what Munir is doing. Yeah. Thank you for a very detailed analysis on Balochistan, a different topic question. Will Iran conflict have any fallout on Baluch, since they are the ones who? Yeah, there's going to be a huge problem, which I spoken completely. There's going to be a major problem. Okay. Pakistan has had its best growth under Musharraf simply because he provided stable leadership in 2000 due to US presence. Typical leadership churn in Pakistan is very high. Yeah, there's a problem. Pakistan is in a big issue. I mean, one has to understand. After all, what it has lost in Op Sindhu, it's not able to recover. It doesn't have money. Economically, it's going. Now with China and USA there's going to be a struggle. No one is going to give them money. So there are issues. Yeah, Ajit Todekar, sir. Good morning, Shankar, sir. Very detailed, showing future fate of Balochistan, and thanks a lot. Incidentally, General Ajit Todekar is actually Captain Ajit Todekar, and we served together long back when we were both captains. He was a captain and I was a lieutenant. I must tell you all this. Yeah, our PM Modi raised this issue in 2016 from Red Fort, but somehow we have not done it. We are doing, but not overt. In this world order, is there any place for human rights? Sorry, there's nothing. Forget about human rights and all. That's only for talk and all. When it comes to real politics, no one is bothered. Does Pakistan army have any control on its western border to enforce border closure? Sorry, it doesn't have. Informal economy is not continuing along the Afghanistan border also, nor along Iran border, because of the situation which is happening. It's going to be problematic internally for Pakistan. Yeah. Did Trump want Modi to be present at White House with Munir? Yeah, obviously. To give copper factory to India. नहीं, सब होगा नहीं. Yeah, Ashok, good morning, namaskaram. Good evening, General Shankar. How should India exploit US presence in Balochistan? India is now in pole position as far as Balochistan, USA, China, and Pakistan is concerned. We have to be just imaginative how to create, inroads for our own thing. Plus the fact that Iran is also going to be aligned somewhere. You have to exploit that also. Plus Afghanistan. You have to play a game. The next game is going to be around Balochistan. Yeah, weak heart of Pakistan. I agree with you. Yeah. So where are we? Where those activities, Jumos who shouted Kashmiriyat and all this, this and all? I'm wondering why India doesn't rack up Balochistan. Yeah, we are doing something. That's why I said, you ask any Pakistani, he feels that we are doing everything there. Yeah, maybe India could use sovereign Alaskan Native cooperation. We have to be imaginative. That's about all. Do you think armed forces and political establishment is ready to take advantage of the deteriorating situation in our western border? Yeah, we are ready. Don't worry. Right. I've finished for the day. Thanks a lot. Right. This is more of an informative talk I gave to you so that you can be all on one grid as Balochistan is concerned. Please give this, send this video to all your friends because for them to understand the complexity of Balochistan. Thank you. Morning and evening, we'll take a review of whatever is happening. Right. I'll get Brigadier Dahiya, with whom I did the initial analysis when the Iran-Israel war started. Till then, have a great day. See you at 8 o'clock in the evening.